Did you know that feeding birds during the winter can improve their survival rates? You're about to learn the essential food items that will help them make it through the winter, and tips on what not to do when feeding our feathered friends. Where snow and ice occur, food for birds can become scarce. A covering of snow on the ground or ice on trees will force birds that normally eat foods from these sources to look elsewhere. During the winter, birds depend on foods with high fat content. They convert these fats into energy to stay warm. Follow these tips to satisfy the birds in your area during this winter season. Food item number 1, Niger seeds. This is a tiny black seed that is also high in fat content, a favorite of finches, chickadees, juncos, sparrows, and doves. This seed is usually offered in socks, but can be piled up on solid surfaces. Food item number 2, black oil sunflower seeds. The shells of black oil sunflower seeds are easier to crack than their striped relatives, making them edible to a variety of birds. Cardinals, chickadees, titmice, nuthatches, doves, woodpeckers, jays, and finches love the seeds, to name a few. This version of sunflower seeds have a higher fat content than the striped sunflower seeds. Some of these birds might prefer the shelled version of these seeds. That means the shell has already been removed and eliminates the cleanup associated with seed shells. American goldfinches are the #1 customer that love these shelled seeds at my feeders. Don't be surprised if you see bluebirds also eating these shelled sunflower seeds. Food item number 3, peanuts. Blue jays, cardinals, grackles, and some woodpeckers are the biggest eaters of peanuts, but other birds such as chickadees, titmice, and nuthatches will also eat these nuts. The smaller birds prefer the peanuts already shelled, and you can also buy them chopped into smaller pieces, or you can chop them yourself. Doves, juncos, towhees, and sparrows might stop by for the chopped nuts. Food item number 4, suet. This has long been recognized as a favorite of woodpeckers, but other birds such as jays, bluebirds, cardinals, robins, nuthatches, mockingbirds, and wrens also love this fat-containing treat. It's best to offer suet cakes and tailprop style feeders to woodpeckers, but suet can also be purchased in nugget form if you want to feed the other birds. Food item number 5, mealworms. For birds that like more protein, try offering some mealworms. These can be purchased live or freeze-dried. Bluebirds, mockingbirds, wrens, and robins might come to your feeders to sample these treats. Food item number 6, fruit. Some birds, such as cardinals, robins, and mockingbirds, might like to eat some fruit. Raisins and blueberries are easy items to stock at bird feeders. Say no to bread. It might be tempting to offer birds leftover bread instead of throwing it in the trash, but bread contains little nutritional value for birds. It also doesn't contain the high fat content we've been covering in the previous food items. In other words, it's junk food. Only put out enough food that can be eaten within a few days. Food can spoil or become moldy during wet conditions. When to feed. The best times to refill the feeders is about an hour or 2 before sunset. This gives birds time to fill up before sleeping over a long night. If possible, food should also be available in the morning when the birds wake up and start their day. Some of this food will not be eaten immediately and instead be gathered up and taken elsewhere to store or cache, similar to how we bring home food from the grocery store and store it at home. Clear snow off the feeders. Birds can pick their way through a light coating of snow and still eat, but if the snow is heavier, you should brush the snow off the feeders when possible. Water source. Clean water is essential for hydration in humans, and it's just as important for birds. Consider offering water in a tray or bird bath year-round. If you live in areas where the temperature drops below freezing, a heated bird bath is an option. Just make sure to clean the bath often and follow all electrical safety instructions furnished with the heater. Share your bird feeding stories in the comments down below. For more bird feeding tips, check out my other video about bird feeding mistakes in the upper right corner. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing.